A lot of people will say that lyric or text animations are no longer relevant today. And they'd be right, but also they're wrong. Like, just humor me on this one real quick and hear me out. You see, text animations, they never died out. The process behind them did though. Ayo, them 2017 New York Draw animations went crazy at the time. Keyword at the time. And as editors, we need to keep up with the times. So today, I'm gonna come in clutch. I'm gonna show you how to do this insane text animation to give your next project a super unique feel. The difference is simple. One, we use keyframes to smooth out motion so it's not jarring for viewers. And secondly, we add a specific stack of effects to make sure it doesn't look too boring. So no more talk, let's get straight into it. The very first thing you need to do is 3D track your scene. There's 3 ways to do this. You can use a plugin like FX Console and type in 3D Camera Tracker, or you can open up the trackers tab, which is over on window, then just press track camera. Or if you want to make it even longer, go into the effects and presets tab, wait for it to load and type in 3D camera tracker. What I do recommend is you just get FX Console for your own sanity. It just makes everything so much easier and it's free. But yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff we can track here by the looks of it. If I just go on to, let's say, Sensu's arm over here and press create solid in camera, let's see what happens. It gets the main motion down, which is what we need. So I'm just going to rotate this so I can see it a bit better. Here's one thing a lot of people are not going to tell you though. Your lyric animations or whatever animations you do with a 3D camera are not going to look realistic unless you're doing this one thing. For example, if we go into my 3D camera tracker by double clicking on it, you can see the focal length is 5mm. I don't know who's shooting on 5mm yet, but it definitely ain't in this video. By the looks of this video, it looks something like a 16mm. Not an expert, but that's what it kind of looks like. So I'm going to set my focal length to, newsflash, 16mm, right? And you can automatically see a difference in the warp and the perspective of our solid, right? Whenever you're trying to go for a more realistic look, just try and nail your 3D camera tracker settings as close as possible to the original camera. The Z value is basically how far away this solid is from the camera itself. And you can already see essentially the further we move away the Z value, the more it acts like it's away from the camera. That's just how it works, okay? Now there's one thing we're going to do before we do anything else. You're going to disable and hide your track solid, whatever you want to say, and then press on the text box over here, drag it out and type in your lyrics. First thing I want to do is use the ironwood font or iron gate, whatever you want to call it, and then up the size of the I. Just like this. Then I'm going to duplicate this text. Then I'm going to type in the second word and change it to another font of my choice. Low key, I'm liking this one right here. So I'm going to size it down like this and also bring the text a bit closer together. Then I'm going to press R and change the rotation to 90 degrees, okay? Then bring it in close to my eye like this and just mess about with the settings until I'm kind of happy. I'm just going to cut these two down here and just chop off the ends. Then I'm going to listen out for the next lyric. I'm not going to play it so I don't get copyrighted. Right, so there's a marker right there. I think I placed it earlier as well, but the marker right here is where it changes to he traps instead of I rap. So let's cut these two in half and change it up. I'm going to go a little different for this one. So I put the ironwood font and just put he in the middle. I'm also going to change the fill to a nice like dark red like the interior of the car, just to make it match a little bit better. I'm happy with that. Now onto the second bar. I'm just going to press Ctrl D to copy this and size it down with the text. Go onto Akira Expanded once again. Make it white and put in traps like this. I'm actually going to go with a different font, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to go with this one right here. It's called Barlow Condensed. Going to kind of warp it a little bit, give it a bit of a weird look to it. Do you know what I mean? Roughly like here. I'm going to play it back again to see where he says he and then traps and then separate it once again. Now I'm going to go over to the solid over here and change it to a rounded rectangle by holding on it. Then drag around it like this, just so we've got a box covering it, and then put it underneath so it kind of looks like this. I'm gonna make sure the roundness is about roughly, I don't know, 70, 60-ish. Make sure there is no stroke at all. And then I'm going to pre-compose these two together. After that, I'm just going to press S and scale it down so it's just a bit more smaller and roughly in the middle like this. And then a simple fade animation by pressing T to open up opacity and keyframing it from 0 to 100 roughly in between where he references the lyric. I know it looks crazy right now, but trust me on this, it's going to look insane. I'm going to do the exact same for the I rap bar, where I've literally just marked it right here. Where this number 3 marker right is, before it says I, then it says rap here. So it goes I, rap, he, traps. You get it? So after you pre-compose it, it should look something like this. I know it looks terrible right now, but trust me, now is when it gets exciting. First thing we're going to do is add in my favorite stack of effects for these sort of clips. So I'm also adding in a drop shadow, increasing the distance and the softness till I'm happy, just to give it a little bit of depth, right? Then I'm going to add in a deep glow on top of that. Put the radius down and also put the exposure a lot less. So these are my final settings if you want to copy them. And this is how it looks. So now our animation's done, our effects like the glow and the shadow are done. Now it's time to actually make it 3D and also give it a sick, smooth animation. Alright, hold on. If you like these sorts of tutorials and this style of editing, just hear me out on this next thing. Basically, I run a store called onthecam.com, which you can find linked down in the description below, where you can get tons of different packs that will help you on your editing journey. My most recent one, the Dynamic Duo Bundle, has over 55 different match cuts and transitions, and also right now you can get the entire bundle for the price of one pack inside. Tons of editors who've already bought the pack are enjoying it like crazy. It's been used in some amazing projects and it doesn't get repetitive, and most importantly, you're saving nearly $50 on the entire bundle until the next update, which is coming very soon. So be sure to go check it out in the top link in the description. And now back to the tutorial. So let's get straight into that part and then we're done. Next thing you're gonna do is highlight both your track solid and your comp with the text in it and press P. Then highlight the track solid position, press Ctrl C. Then go over to the position of your text animations and just Ctrl V it. So essentially, we're copying over the properties of the solid to the text. And now this is what we've got. We've still got a lot of work to do though. I'm actually going to use the blue arrow and bring it a bit closer just to make it a little bit more dynamic. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair, but there's still quite a few things we need to do not stress. I'm going to use these little circle things here to rotate it in 3D space and make it look a bit more, well, better. So something like that where it's kind of lined up with the car itself looks pretty good to me. I'm also going to scale it up a bit as well. It's quite small. So now I'm going to do a nice smooth rotating animation from the white text to the red text. You're going to open up R on your composition and keyframe Z rotation, and then just change it to a 1 here. So what that means, it's going to cycle 1 time to the right. So it's going to go like this, yeah? And this is how it looks so far. In my opinion, it looks terrible, to say the least. But don't worry, here's how we're going to change that. The first thing we're going to do is move the anchor point right into the center of our point right here. So all the text is kind of roughly in the middle of, well, the composition, right? So this is what you should have right now. In my opinion, it looks terrible. And there's a reason why. A lot of people try to gatekeep this, but the keyframes are what really makes these sort of animations. So we're going to drag these a bit further apart, hold them and just press F9 to ease the keyframes. And now you're going to go into this icon right here, which is the graph editor. Now what you're going to do, I'm going to expand it so you can see it a bit better. You're going to copy the same graph as me. Remember how we set our points earlier? I don't know if I told you how to set your points earlier, but you can press this little button right here and it will give you a marker on your timeline. What you're going to do is hold shift and drag in each side until the point rests in the middle of that marker. So our marker is here, so we need to make sure the sharp point of the curve is right in the middle, if that makes sense. So this is what my final graph looks like. Of course, you're more than welcome to copy it. You can see it lines up very well with the marker. And you can see once we play it automatically how much better that looks. Just off that one little graph editor change, how much smoother does that look? Insane, man. But we're not done yet. Now we need to do the in and out animations. The first thing I want to do is press P and keyframe the position, yeah? I'm going to press U so I can see all my keyframes and drag it to roughly about where the rotation starts, right? We're going for smooth here, remember. Then I'm going to go a bit further to the left near the start of the bar, and then just drag this red arrow so it goes from the right side into the center of the frame. Then I'm going to copy and paste that same position value just with Ctrl Z and Ctrl V. Now onto the graph editor once again. You guys know the drill. Highlight every single one of these and press F9, then go into your graph editor, and now this time we're going to only make a sharp curve on the left and then a sharp curve on the right like this. Okay, so this isn't necessary at all for you to do, but I'm just adding in a shake of my choice just to the end of every clip, just like this. And in my opinion, that just looks a hell of a lot smoother than if we were just to leave it blank. Now there's one final step for the animation that I did forget earlier, but it's going to make it a lot better. You're going to press R on our composition and then keyframe the orientation, yeah? Then you line it up with our previous keyframes to start the Z rotation, and then change the orientation to about roughly whatever looks horizontal, you know what I mean? Next thing I'm going to do is do the same sort of process we did for the position keyframes. I'm going to Control C and Control V this keyframe here, and then set it back to normal, just about like, I don't know, maybe here? Something like this. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I've done 2 of the same keyframes here, and then this keyframe and this keyframe are the same as well. So from original to sideways, sideways to original, right? And after a few more tweaks, this is our final result. Hope you lot enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you learned something. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more tutorials like this. And I'll catch you lot in the next video. Love.